Forrest Gump follows the titular character as he retells his life experience to strangers as he waits for a bus. The main character introduces himself to a woman and gives her the iconic quote,
"Life was like a box of chocolates."
As he talks about his life, the lady doesn't seem interested, but Forrest pays no mind. As he rambles about his life, Forrest remembers the magic shoes his mother bought for him when he was young. The shoes didn't exactly make him fly. They were leg braces that helped Forrest walk. As he gets deeper into his story, Forrest, the proud Alabamer, gives the lady an inside look to his childhood life. Flashback to earlier Gumpier days, he is attempting to get into a school, but his entry is denied due to his below-average IQ. The principal of the school tells Mrs. Gump the same thing, but she is persistent about giving her son equal opportunities. Ever tenacious, Mrs. Gump wouldn't take no for an answer, leading her to sleep with the principal to grant his son a place in school. She got what she wanted, but terrible ethics, Mr. Principal.
I see this as an absolute win.
Back to present day, the lady is still beside him, reading a magazine. Forrest continues with his story, telling her about the first time he went to school. He remembers the kids not letting him sit beside them, except for a little girl, Jenny.
You can sit here if you want.
He and Jenny bond on their way to school and eventually become BFFs. As their friendship evolves, Forrest notices that Jenny never wants to go home. Unfortunately, it's not because of the great time she's having, but because her alcoholic dad beats her. One day, while the two are walking, a group of bullies throws rock at Forrest for being a little different. Apparently, Forrest's leg braces weren't too cool. Jenny tells Forrest to run, which he does, in yet another memorable cinematic moment. Forrest runs from the bullies that chase him on their bikes. In an inspiring motion, he breaks his leg braces as he runs like the wind. His legs are magically healed. The power of love and fighting off bullies, I guess. Then, things get worse with Jenny's dad. The younglings pray for God for wings so she can fly away, far away. Sadly, they don't get them, but some higher power certainly listened, as Jenny got taken away from her father and moved in with her grandmother.
I love a happy ending.
The pair grows up and things remain the same. They're still best friends and Forrest remains constantly harassed by his bullies. Only now they chase him in their car. However, Forrest is now as fast as Usain Bolt. Look at him go! Practice pays off, it seems. As Forrest is once again chased by his bullies, he runs through a football field, where the coaches are impressed by this unusual speedster. Striking by luck, he gets into college with a sports scholarship. College was all about running for Forrest. He didn't pay much attention to strategy, but continued running, even getting into the All-American football team.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I gotta pay.
Our boy even met President Kennedy. We return to the bus stop, and before Forrest can finish his story, the ladies' bus arrives. Thankfully, he now has a friendlier companion who intently listens. He continues by explaining how he and Jenny went separate ways after college. However, being a little bit clingy and sweet, our main guy still visited her often. He even waited outside her hostel once until Jenny arrived with a man in his car. When Jenny suggestively says it hurts to her boyfriend, Forrest misinterprets it and beats him. What a gentleman. The man drives away angrily, and while upset, Jenny brings Forrest into her dorm room. After 5 years of playing football, Forrest graduates from college. We're so proud. At graduation, he is handed a US Army recruiting pamphlet, which leads him to enlist the infantry. On his first day, he meets a man named Bubba.
Sit down if you want to.
If there's one thing to know about Bubba, is that he is a shrimp connoisseur. Cool niche, huh?
Anyway, like I was saying, shrimp is the fruit of the sea.
His father, grandfather, grandfather's father were all in the shrimp business. As time goes by, the two become best friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yeah.
Later, Forrest finds out that Jenny, who has turned more unbearable than Skylar from Breaking Bad herself,
God, I hate her, Ross. I hate her.
is performing singing shows somewhere in Memphis. To his surprise, it's actually a strip club where Jenny sings naked. While performing, a man harasses her, which of course enrages Forrest, inspiring yet another well-deserved beating. Get him, champ!
Go get him, Tiger.
This time around though, Jenny gets mad at our friend and asks him to stop rescuing her. Before parting ways, Forrest reveals that he is being sent to Vietnam, which he innocently refers to as a real country. Jenny wishes him luck and leaves. Bubba and Forrest fly to Vietnam and meet Lieutenant Dan, who asks some peculiar questions.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
You twins?
The lieutenant is rather strict about his platoon taking care of their feet. Returning to present day, Forrest continues his story, recalling how he enjoyed Vietnam. That was until it started raining and went on for months. Forrest takes this as a learning opportunity because he has seen all kinds of rains. Little bitty stinging rain, big old fat rain, and sometimes, in Forrest's words, rain that comes up from underneath. Otherwise known as, you know, bombs, mines, all that good stuff.
Welcome to the Hotel Hell.
When in Nam, Bubba asks Forrest if he'd like to start a shrimping business with him. As expected, he immediately accepts. Sweet boy. The next day, as the rain stops, a flood of bullets and blood ensue. Of course, Forrest does what he knows best. He runs. He is almost on the safe side when he remembers his best friend as he heads into the bloodbath to rescue Bubba. He finds countless of injured soldiers along the way and gets them to safety, including Lieutenant Dan, who doesn't seem too thrilled about it. Poor Forrest gets shot in his butt while helping him. A thank you wouldn't kill you, Dan.
I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way.
At last, he finds Bubba, who is tragically unable to make it. Excuse us while we cry for hours.
I want to throw up and kill myself.
At hospital after the massacre, Lieutenant Dan believes that he should have died in the war, as he would have died with honor. However, Forrest attempts to cheer him with ice cream.
Hey, I got you some ice cream.
As he complains about being rescued, it's revealed that the lieutenant has lost his legs. While recovering, a soldier teaches Forrest how to play ping pong. Just like that, he discovers something new to excel at. Now, Forrest may have his difficulties, but once he learns something, he becomes the best at it. This was the case with ping pong.
Any idiot can play.
Later, Forrest is told that he will be awarded the Medal of Honor for his bravery in Vietnam. However, when he returns to tell this to Lieutenant Dan, he sees that his superior officer is already on his way home. Either way, Forrest receives a medal from President Lyndon B. Johnson. When asked about his injury, Forrest, oh so kindly, showed it to the president on live television. He is brave. No doubt about that. While walking around, Forrest encountered a hippie parade, where he is encouraged to give a speech, but is sabotaged and muted as he speaks his mind about war.
In Vietnam,
From a distance, Forrest hears his name being called out by no other than Jenny. Ugh. They spend some time together and Forrest meets her boyfriend, who also beats her. Once again, our hero takes matters into his own hands and stands up for the lady. As they talk, Jenny confesses she has to leave again, but before they part ways, Forrest hands her his Medal of Honor. Later, Forrest gets transferred and goes on traveling around the country playing ping pong and entertaining injured veterans. In fact, he got so good at ping pong that the army decided to send him to China with America's ping pong team.
Excellent!
After his ping pong extravaganza ensues, guess who Forrest meets? Lieutenant Dan, who is now a raging alcoholic.
You are tearing me apart!
One thing remains the same. He still hates Forrest. The two go to a bar where Forrest tells him about wanting to get in the shrimp business. Lieutenant Dan laughs, saying that if Forrest ever gets a shrimping boat, he will be his first buddy. Well, just you wait, Lieutenant Dan.
Just you wait.
Sometime later, Forrest gets a letter saying his service in the military is done. He decides to take this as his cue to focus on the shrimping business, and only one person can help, Bubba. Since he is not around, he goes to Bubba's mother, who doesn't give him the warmest of welcomes.
Are you crazy?
After getting some advice from her, he gets his own shrimping boat, named Jenny, of course. Ugh.
As if.
One day, while shrimping, Forrest notices Lieutenant Dan on the shore. Guess he doesn't hate him after all. The two continue the shrimping business together, but don't collect too many shrimps. That is until a devastating storm hits and destroys several shrimping boats, all except one. Which one? Take a wild guess. After everyone is out of the business, it gets easier for Forrest and the lieutenant to catch shrimps. They start collecting heaps of shrimps, enough to make all kinds of dishes Bubba used to talk about. We return to the bus stop where Forrest tells his tale, this time to a man and an old woman. He then reveals that his company is now an established name that goes under the Bubba Gump. One of the strangers laughs as he leaves, finding hard to believe this. Alone with the woman, he proceeds telling the story to her. Reminiscing on his shrimping days, Forrest recalls the time he got some bad news. His mama is dying of cancer. He runs back home and talks to mama for the last time. Depressed, he refuses to return back to the shrimping business, leaving it all to Lieutenant Dan, who invests Forrest's shrimping money on Apple stocks, which our protagonists think is some kind of fruit company.
He got me invested in some kind of fruit company.
Sweet, naive boy. As expected, Forrest manages to make some bank. True to his kind-hearted nature, he gives Bubba's mother her share of the Bubba Gump company. However, even while having all that cash, he still remembers Jenny. Lo and behold, she arrives at his lawn soon after, as if he summoned her. Is he involved in some sort of witchcraft we're unaware of? The pair start spending time together again, like they did when they were kids, and it looked like Jenny wasn't going anywhere this time around. Ever persistent, Forrest asks her to be his bride, but Jenny declines.
Will I get over it? No. But life goes on.
That very same night, Jenny went to his room and kissed him. You can guess what happens after. The very next morning, she leaves without saying goodbye. Heartbroken once again, Forrest decides to run. And boy, he does. This wasn't your typical morning jog. No. This was running across America, non-stop. Well, only when he has to sleep, eat, and go to the toilet, we assume. People soon start to take notice as reporters surround him. Everyone wants to know why he's running. Is it for world peace, human rights? Is he protesting something?
Are you running? Are you doing this for world peace?
Are you doing this for the homeless?
As his motives remain a mystery, some followers decided to join him. Before you even know it, there is a crowd of followers and some very influential brands. Way to go, buddy. Suddenly, Forrest stops. Without much explanation, reason, or speech, he sheepishly walks away, leaving his confused followers behind.
Why?
Forrest returns to his home in Alabama and is living a simple life. That is until Jenny sent him a letter, asking him to come to meet her in Savannah. This is precisely what he's doing at the bus stop, waiting for his ride to go to meet the love of his life. However, the woman he's been talking to tells Forrest that the address is just a few blocks away, a distance he can certainly walk. Finally, our guy meets Jenny in her apartment and is given the biggest surprise of his life. How big, you ask? Around 4 years old. It turns out that Jenny had given birth to Forrest's son, Forrest Jr. As you may have guessed, he is over the moon.
His name's Forrest.
In an unfortunate turn of events, Jenny also informs him that she is sick with an unknown virus, which we now know was AIDS. Not only that, but that she could also die any day now.
That's so very, very sad.
This time around, Jenny asks Forrest to marry her. Of course, he agrees without a second thought. In the following scene, the two are in front of Forrest's house in Alabama on their wedding day, where once again we encounter Lieutenant Dan, who has prosthetic legs and a girlfriend now.
Lieutenant Dan. Hello, Forrest.
It's nice to see he turned his life around. Forrest and Jenny finally get married and live happily ever after. Until Jenny gets really sick and dies.
That's so very, very sad.
Forrest is devastated, but knows it's inevitable. Plus, he has now the most outstanding kid to take care of. He has Jenny's grave placed under the tree they used to hang out. The movie ends with Forrest walking little Junior Gump to his school bus and sitting at a bus stop one last time as he waits for his return. And that's all for today. Forrest Gump in a nutshell. Now, if you hated Jenny as much as I did, tell me about it in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. See you next time for a new summary on an old comedy movie.